to the Crypto Angel channel. By the way, I just did have to post a new link. So that is posted, and we are going to get started now. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So let me share the screen. We're going to look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index like we always do. And then I need to get everything set up on the side of TikTok to let me do that really quickly. Let's look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index while we wait. Technically, it is only 10:57 p.m., so I do need to get the music going. And I also need to get going on. So let me just set everything up. Right now, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we are coming in. TikTok Live will soon reward creators in a new way. Get ready to complete missions for rewards up to 53%. So the Fear Greed Index right now is at 72. 72. So that is greed, but it's not extreme greed. I think so. Anything above 75 is extreme greed. So overall, right now, we are in an okay place. I do, as long as Bitcoin can hold a key level that I'm going to talk about in a moment, I'm okay with what we're doing. Right now, earlier today, we are really toying with that 100K level. And I don't think that's exactly the resistance. Well, we do have support 99.9, but that's not the key level that I want us to look at. I'll tell you guys in 2 minutes when we get started here. So let me get everything pulled up, so just bear with me. I also do want to talk about Bookmap. I haven't talked about a lot. I'm not going to pull it up here, but I do want to talk about some key levels that we should be looking at for Bookmap. And Bookmap basically tells you where the liquidity is at on Bitcoin. Remember, our longer live streams are tonight, Monday. And on Mondays we're live on TikTok and YouTube, and then on Saturdays we're doing Clapper and YouTube as well, so that we can get people over to Clapper in case TikTok gets banned again. So, by the way, if you guys are new, appreciate if you hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post a video or go live. And if I ever have to switch a time, I go live or something, I let you guys know on the Telegram. The link to joining that is on TikTok and YouTube. That is free to join. So right now, Bookmap has more liquidity to the upside at $104,400. Again, that just tells you where the most orders are at. That's usually where we go, is wherever the most orders are at. So I'm looking for a move to the upside, and as long as Bitcoin can hold the 101K basically, I'm pretty happy with what we got going on. So I'll get the music going. We're going to go over here. So right now, Fear Greed is at 72, just something to keep in the back of your mind. So let's go over here and look at Bitcoin. I still have these key levels up here on Bitcoin. I did also just take a trade on I took a short on XCN. I think it's way overextended, but I'll get into that in a second. So right now, if we just look at the smaller time frames on the 5-minute time frame, and then I'll work my way up. But on the 5-minute time frame, Bitcoin right now has made, so the low is 98,880. Actually, technically, it was a little bit lower than that. I didn't want to delete that. So the low for the day was all the way down there at 97.7. And then now we're starting to make higher highs, higher low, higher high ever so slightly, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now we're higher high. Now, if the Bulls want to stay in control, they must make a high above 101,300, but preferably more above, which is, like I just said, support is 101.1. If you can hold 101.2 or 101.3, that's good. I would prefer to make it a significant higher low at 101.5. But to me, we are now in an uptrend on the 5-minute time frame, and I know it's a small time frame, but the reversal does start on the 1-minute time frame or even the 1-second time frame, and then you work your way up to the higher time frame. So right now, it looks good to me. The 5-minute time frame is oversold, and to me, that's even a falling wedge here. Now it is Monday night, but there's more liquidity in the markets on a Monday night than there's on a Monday morning. So I will just say that Bitcoin looks very good to me right now on the 5-minute. For a move to the upside. Oversold on the RSI, higher low, that's a good sign. The 7-minute looks good as well. That is, that's a nice bounce to the upside. I'll just leave it at that. The 50-minute time frame. So the 50-minute time frame might be what dumps the 5-minute, because yes, you're trying to get a green candle here, but on the 50-minute, it's not bullish engulfing yet, and you're overbought on the RSI. So to me, the 50-minute time frame might need to come and touch the 200-day moving average, or even the 21, but probably most likely the 200, because if you're above the 200, I would like to stay above it, but that would still be okay, and a healthy retest of $1,000 to the downside would be fine, in my opinion, on the 50-minute time frame. Now, if you look at the half-hour time frame or the 33-minute time frame for Bitcoin, you're still below the 200-day moving average, which is coming in at 103,650, and you're overbought on the R side. Since the low of the day, you never got oversold on the half-hour time frame, which tells me there's a lot of buying pressure. If we go up to the 1-hour time frame, you're overbought. If we go up to the 2-hour time frame, we're overbought on Bitcoin. If we look at the 3-hour time frame, we're already overbought, and so far to me, the 3-hour time frame is putting in a lower high. The 4-hour time frame also looks like a lower high for Bitcoin. I said the other day in my trading group, or even my Bitcoin update I did, I don't know if I posted it to YouTube, but I said the most likely situation was that Bitcoin gets bounced to the upside on the 4-hour. Now that happened, and that has happened, but the problem is, as of right now, this is a lower high for Bitcoin. And unless you get above this key level here at about 107, this is a lower high for Bitcoin. So to me right now, the 4-hour time frame, even though we're getting a short-term bounce to the upside, this is a lower high on the 4-hour time frame. So just be cautious. It doesn't look great to me on the 4-hour time frame. The 6-hour time frame has a little bit more gas to go, so I don't believe we're getting the reversal just yet. 8-hour time frame has more to go as well. Actually, the 8-hour has a decent amount more to go. So I think we're going to get some kind of bounce to the down or reversal to the downside, put in a lower high on these time frames. But I don't think it's going to happen just yet. Like we could have another 24 hours of sideways price action or upside before it really happens. The 8-hour time frame is almost, that the 8-hour time frame has room to go. The 12-hour time frame has room to go. The daily time frame, to me, looks like you want to continue your dump to the downside. So, like the daily time frame, the 2-day, and the 3-day could all push you down lower. 3-day is technically oversold, but I'm not loving what it doesn't look great. Weekly still needs to come to the downside as well. So, to me, if I had to put all these time frames together, I would say that super short term, we can continue to look for a bounce to the upside over the course of the next 4 to 12 hours. But I think sometime tomorrow night around this time, Bitcoin is going to be putting in a top and we are going to go further to the downside and likely put in some kind of lower low below this level here at 97.6. So if I had to take any trade, I would just watch the smaller time frames. Right now, to me, like I said, I think we have a little more upside to go here for the next few hours or even maybe the next day. Like even the 5-minute, again, looks bullish to me. So even the 5-minute, if you can hold this level short term here at 102,830, Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside. So if Bitcoin can hold, we'll say $102,830, I would be looking for a long here on Bitcoin. So that's just what we got going on. But now you go down to like the 1-minute time frame if you guys really want to. And the 1-minute looks bearish to me. That's a lower high. How does the 2-minute look? 2-minute can keep pushing you up. And I think you might get some more follow through. But the question is, are you going to make a new high above 103.4 right here? My guess is it's possible. I'm not going to say yes or no. I think I like where the 5-minute's at. So I'm going to say yes, you do. This is a falling wedge. These breakups about 70% of the time, and that will give you a measure move here on Bitcoin to $103,650. So that I'm going to say we do make a new high and we get up to that level. So if you hold 102 set $830, I do see more upside coming for Bitcoin. You could even call it 846. I don't want to get too small time frames here, but you could take this long here, not financial advice, stop below 846 and take profit 103,656. So that's just what I see going on. This is just really my next trade if I wasn't in trade. I can't trade while I'm live. I mean, it just doesn't work very well. But that looks good for a long position to the upside. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. Thank you for the follow. User 31. February 1st at 12 a.m., Trump's coin's going to hit record high numbers. Why do you believe that is? February 1st? I just made a video on Trump coin on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. So, yeah, go check that out. I did take a short on XCN. Why did I take a short on XCN, you ask? Well, it's very extended on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, it's oversold, but it just has done a 15x, I think, a 15x. Let me go full screen here on XCN. So from the lows, I think it did a 15x. And I didn't even realize it did a 15x until just recently, until like last night. But that's and you could even say did I do this from the right place? I think I did. It's done over a 15x from the lows. It's done a 41x from the lows. That's crazy. So XCN, while everyone's not been paying attention to it, has done a 41x. That's actually crazy. So 41x since around the 14th of December, right before Christmas time, in the last month and a half, it's done a 41x. That's crazy. So to me, you do need to cool down. And I told my training group this just a little bit ago. You just lost a 200-day moving average on the 33-minute time frame ever so slightly. So if you can't reclaim 32.7, I'm looking for more of a move to the downside. Your next stop would be the 1 hour 200 moving average, which you got bounce off right now, but I don't believe that's going to hold. That is around that 22 level. 2.2 cents, I should say. So XCN, I am in a short right now. That's just what I'm doing. And if you lose a 1 hour, 200-day moving average, you can eventually look for the 2 hour, then the 3, then the 4, then the 6, then the 8, then the 12, then the daily, then the 2. And so you can just keep going. It keeps dumping. And that does happen in bear markets, maybe not in bull markets. But that is what I'm watching right now. It's XCN, looks kind of bearish to me on the half-hour time frame, and really on the 5-minute, you could also enter a short if you just keep your stop loss above the 200-day smooth moving average. So that is what I'm doing right now. I do have a short in XCN. My entry was 285, I think. Actually, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's 285 too. So that's the trade I'm in right now on XCN. To me, it looks kind of bearish. It's kind of been bearish for the last 24 to 36 hours, but to me, right now, it looks bearish right now as well. Thank you for the likes. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the gift, Jen Rava. I appreciate that. AVAX chart, please. Bitcoin is up now to 103. Let's go back to Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? So you guys kind of consolidating. It's kind of bad price action as well. Let's go. We can go look at AVAX. If you guys want to join the trade group, link to join is in my YouTube description. If you guys want to join that, where I post Bitcoin setups and sometimes altcoin setups every single day. I give you Bitcoin updates every day of the month, every day of the year. Altcoin setups, if the market's good, I'll give you them as well. So, all right, let's do AVAX. AVAX to me, hold on real quick while I do something. I'm going to record this for a video. Welcome to the Crypto Angel channel. Let's look at AVAX. So on AVAX token on the monthly time frame, let's just kind of reset everything. Let's get rid of the drawings. Let's just relax. Let's just start fresh. So AVAX resistance at $65. A local high at $55. You have support here at $17.50. You have a massive local low down here around that $859 level. And up here you have that's a resistance up there, $150 basically. So those are the levels to watch for on the monthly time frame. Now, monthly time frame as far as RSI goes, kind of struggling. I mean, it's not oversold yet, but I will say that could be a rounded bottom. Rounded bottoms are bullish. If we look at the weekly, you can see the weekly's not oversold yet, but it's pretty close to being oversold. And this looks like it does want to slightly continue down, but it doesn't have to. We look at the 3-day, that is extremely oversold on the 3-day time frame. So AVAX to me, you could get a little more blood to the downside because, again, the weekly and monthly do need to come down, maybe even a little more. But if we're in a bull market, some of these coins are just going to rip. This is definitely not the most beautiful falling wedge, and these kinds of falling wedges, to me, are not extremely bullish. But technically, by the books, that's a falling wedge. I would not take this long here because it looks more bearish than bullish to me. But the management move would get you up to that resistance level at $65. You'd also have to crack, of course, that $55 resistance level. And if you zoom in more, I would also even say that $45 is probably also going to be short-term resistance on the smaller time frames, such as I may want to say 3 days a small time frame, but compared to the monthly, it's kind of a small time frame. You look at the daily. You're just until you can break this top trend line here around this $35 level. I can't be bullish on this. AVAX to me is bearish unless you break the 21-day moving average on the daily time frame around $38. If you break $38, you could probably say that you broke out of this and you could get a move up to that resistance at 45. But to me, AVAX right now is a little bit bearish until you break 38, and then minimum have to break 35. We look at the 12-hour time frame, lower high. Lower, well, that's not lower low yet, but that's another lower high, almost another lower low. I will say, when you've seen an asset stay at a bottom for a while, that's a good sign. It's trying to hold this $33. If you can do that, that would get you probably up and out of here. And eventually, if this price goes sideways long enough, you'd break this downsloping resistance line. So I do think AVAX is probably at a bottom around this $32 to $33 level. Not financial advice, but just, usually when you make the same bottoms multiple times or your bottoms get less and less lower, that's usually a sign that we're about to reverse. So AVAX to me on the 12-hour time frame looks somewhat interesting. You see the 8-hour time frame. That is oversold, trying to get a bounce. AVAX is probably a buy on the 8-hour time frame. The 6-hour looks good. The 4-hour time frame looks a little sketchy. The 4-hour time frame looks a little bit sketchy to me right now. If we look at the 1-hour time frame, thank you for the likes on TikTok. The 1-hour time frame as well looks a little bit sketchy. But again, going back to the daily and the 3-day, this thing looks like it wants to break up to the upside. You'd have to break $45, $55, and $65 as resistance. If you can do that, you can get a move to the upside and obviously be looking for that. But I go back to the 4-hour time frame and I don't love this. Like, this could be a bear flag forming here on the 4-hour time frame. You're not overbought, but you're going towards that overbought level. Or are you making some kind of bear flag? And this would take you down to new lows. And this would crack that $32, $33 level that I was talking about being support. So that is the bear scenario. The bullish scenario is you just keep going up. The bear scenario is you go down to a new low around $29.50 or $30 on AVAX. So you must break $35 and especially $38 to be bullish on AVAX. That's where I leave it. If you guys are new, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post my next video. If you guys want to join the trading group, link to join is in my description on YouTube. Until next time, cheers and adios, everyone. Thank you guys for the support. So I will post that when this is all over. But anyways, AVAX to me looks kind of sketchy. I mean, the 4-hour time frame looks sketchy, but if you just zoom out to the 3-day, you have hope. But if the 4-hour time frame takes you below $33, your next support is honestly, you have a little bit of support at 22, but your next macro support is 1750 on AVAX. So yeah, again, going back to the 4-hour time frame, it looks like it's in a bear flag, so the bulls must break this. Now, the good hope is that you oversold on the 4-hour time frame, but the problem is, like if I go down to the 3-hour, 3 hours, like anytime I see the R side turn like that with the price struggling, that's not a good sign. The 2-hour time frame is overbought. That's a lower high. My guess is that the 3 and 4-hour time frames are this is likely to roll over. That's all I'm saying. So the measure move would be just under $30. And that's just AVAX in a nutshell. Sorry to say that. And just like I said, I got into this at 285. XCN now down to 282. Nothing crazy, but I did call the short on XCN. And does that mean Bitcoin's dumping or is it just that coin? Yeah, Bitcoin's dumping as well. Bitcoin's about to take out this low here. And the 15-minute time frame on Bitcoin is probably about to take over on the RSI. And this falling wedge, I won't get rid of it yet, but it looks like it's about to fail. It might not, but it looks bad. The 7-minute is oversold, but that's pretty bad price action. So that's like, and also on the 1-minute time frame for Bitcoin, that's probably some kind of rounded top. So my guess is now, if you take out 102.840, right now, if I was in the trade, I entered right here. Well, I guess you enter right here. I would probably put my stop. Yeah, my stop would be 102.850, and I guess that's what the stop was initially if we entered that trade hypothetically. Good thing I didn't actually enter the trade because that does not. It looks like it's about to roll over here on Bitcoin. That's probably part of the reason that these other coins are getting a small pullback on the smaller time frames. Thank you for the likes. How do you draw the white trend lines? Well, I mean, all you do is you go over to trend line, you draw a trend line, that's a diagonal trend line, and then if you want to change the color, this is my favorites bar. So I don't know where it is at for you, but I changed my color to whatever I want it. We can go over to the Ethereum chart. Yes, let's go over Ethereum. I haven't looked at Ethereum in a long time. And part of the reason I've looked at Ethereum in a long time is because Ethereum is just bearish. What is Bitcoin at right now? 102. So I will show you guys this, at least on TikTok, you guys can see this. Bookmap right now wants 102,000. Yes, you have more orders up here, but if we're close to this level, it's likely we go down to $102,000 a coin to Bookmap. So I'd be looking for a move to the downside right now on Bitcoin down to 102,000. That would help my shorts. But let's go look at Ethereum. I wanted to look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart before I did anything else if I can find it. If I can't find it, I could type it in. But I knew I had it somewhere. We can just look at Ethereum though, I guess. I just think Ethereum is very bearish compared to Bitcoin, and that's why I wanted to look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So we'll go on the 3-day and down. I don't want this being black. I will say this for Ethereum, it's taken 5 light years to do anything this bull run, and to me, it still hasn't done much. It's gone off the lows. I mean, you have to say it's done something. The lows were $850, right? $850, and then you had a high of over 4K. So from the lows, that's almost a 5x. But overall, it's been pretty boring to hold for Ethereum at least. But on the 3-day time frame, I do see this as a falling wedge. With the measure move of 48.77. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. You have to take this with a grain of salt. That's kind of bullish. Now, I would say if you take out this low here at 28.85, I would be out of the trade. So, yeah, that's oversold. The daily's struggling. I wouldn't enter this trade until I would take this as a breakout trade. When you break this top trend line above 33.43 or something like that, I would take this trade. Until then, I wouldn't take this trade on Ethereum because I don't trust Ethereum right now. I just don't trust Ethereum. So I don't usually take breakout trades, but I do think that Ethereum is kind of bearish right now. So I wouldn't take this trade on Ethereum until you break that level. And then as the longer it takes to break that level, the lower that level would become. Thank you, Eileen, for the follow, and thank you for the likes. But that's just Ethereum. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum. 4-hour time frame for Ethereum about to make another lower high. And again, it just looks bad. So right now, can't say I love what I see on Ethereum. Just doesn't look great. Bitcoin just took out that low down there. So XCN got a small bounce back to the upside. But yeah, going back, Ethereum looks bad. So the 4-hour time frame is about to make a lower high. The 3-hour time frame, 2-hour time frame has made a lower high. 1 hour has as well. So I don't love the higher time frames. Also, at this point, this is a rising wedge. So if this breaks up, this would break up parabolically. If this breaks down, this would break down very fast back to where it came from. And it came from around 3,000 or just under it, or just above it, I mean. So that's what I see. A rising wedge to the downside would be the measure move of around 30.42. If you break to the upside, though, they break up parabolically, and then your measure move would be 34.40. And I just said if you break 34.43, then you could call for a breakout on the higher time frame. So you need this rising wedge to break out parabolically to the upside on the 15-minute time frame. If you do that, that could be the start of something much larger on the 15-minute time frame for Ethereum. Otherwise, if you go back and revisit 3,000, that would just be bad. So that's what I see going on for Ethereum. So, you must break 30. If you break 32.40 here, I would be looking for this 15-minute rising wedge on Ethereum to be breaking to the upside with a measure move of 34.40. I would not take that trade, but that's what I see going on. So that could give you the breakout to the upside if you could break 32.40. That would be the start of a breakout if you get that $30 move to the upside. How do you draw the extended ones? Yes, please, Ethereum. What do you mean? How do I? I don't know what you mean by that. So, anyways, hold on a second. Let me charge my other computer so it doesn't go dead on me. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry. So, anyways, that's kind of what we got going on. If you guys have any other requests, let me know when I look at them. But that's just what we got going on. So Bitcoin right back to the upside, $103,000. I'm not sure what I just did to my other thing that I didn't know how to do that. So $103,000 for Bitcoin. By the way, we go live Mondays and Saturdays at 11 p.m. Central Time. Just a heads up on that note. So, wow, we've already been live for a while now. It doesn't seem like it's been 25 minutes. Like what you just explained of that wedge. Oh, the falling. I thought you might mean that, but I wasn't sure. So, how do I get this measured move here? I'll leave this line over here so I can prove to you that the measured move is the same. But you do it from the last high. So of the top of this falling wedge, the last high was what? Basically 103,326, if you can see that over here. Let me just zoom in really quickly. So the measure move, or the top, was 103,342. And so you would take it from that top with your high, and then you would take it to the last macro local low. And I consider that right down there at 102.6 to be the last local low. You could say that the last local low was all the way down there, but that would be a ridiculous move. And I try to be conservative with it. And this was the last real bottom. And I also go off of the last time you oversold on the time frame that you're looking at. The last time you oversold was this low right here. So that is the last low. And then you take it from the bottom of the flag or bottom of the channel. And that would give you a measure move of 103.5. Let me make sure that, well, they're different. That's weird. Did I do it from this way? That's too much then. I don't know where I got that first measure move. But the conservative measure move, oh, now it's the same. Yeah, the measure move is 103,656. So that is just what I see. I don't know why it was different the first time. But yeah, so you take it from the last high to the last local low. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, yeah, good question. So going back to the 15-minute time frame, that's too big of a time. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame for Bitcoin, see what's going on. So that's a bullish engulfing candle now in the 5-minute time frame. So this could still save us. And if we go down to the 1 minute, the falling wedge should still play out and it's still valid. Now, I had a really tight stop loss, so I guess I'd be technically out of that trade if you had your stop at 846. But it's still a valid trade setup, and the falling wedge can still break out to 103.5, 103.6. So that's just what I see going on for Bitcoin, for Bitcoin. Appreciate it, Santa. Appreciate it. You have a good night as well. I'm about to wrap this up anyways. So yeah, for Bitcoin, that's what I see. I see a move going up to 103,600. I know Bookmap does say 102. I think we have slightly more liquidity up there at 104.6 though. But if you did break this low, it looks like 102 would be likely. So if you break down, there's a lot of liquidity at 102,000. And if you break to the upside, there's a lot of liquidity at 104.6. Bookmap is slightly suggesting, ever so slightly, that we are going to get the move to 104.6. But it's really, they're about the same. There's the liquidity on both sides are about the same, according to Bookmap. So that's just what I see going on. Thank you for the likes on YouTube as well. Yeah, that's just what I see going on. So the next time we'll be live will be on Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. That's when we're live on Clapper and on YouTube. And I have the trading group open if you guys want to join. That link to join is in YouTube. The best time to join the trading group would be the beginning of next month, because that's how you don't get double charged. I don't know if Patreon still does that, but I'm pretty sure they used to do that. They charge you when you joined and then at the beginning of the month. So that's the best time to join. And now XCN is getting the bounce to the upside, but my stop loss on XCN is 327. So that's what we got going on over there. And yeah. with that being said, guys, I don't see any other requests, so I'm probably going to wrap things up. Um, I'm probably going to wrap things up. I would say to wrap one last thing on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin makes a new low below 102,767, I would pretty much call that a wrap. And then that would be very likely that the falling wedge is going to go to the downside. Otherwise, if you stay above 102,767, your measurement move is 103,656. So if this, then that, that's how I look at it. If we lose that, if we make a new low, then this falling wedge, in my opinion, is very much negated. Otherwise, Bitcoin could still get that small short-term bounce to the upside. There's not a ton of liquidity overnight, especially Monday nights, but there's more liquidity, I think, Monday nights than Monday mornings. So we can see, I believe we have enough buying power to get to the upside here. But yeah, that's kind of what I see going on in the charts. So that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll be back live on Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe and have a great rest of your week. Thank you guys for stopping by and for the support. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys in the trading group next month. Cheers. Adios, amigos.